Hello everyone, back in today's first video, doing Weekend Forecast Day's first video. Later on, we'll have the free monthly look ahead with the JMA model. That'll be coming up this evening, and you'll be able to find the video to that on the home page. Be from around 6:30 this evening, something like that. It takes us from November through to January. But this is the Weekend Forecast. I'm going to have a detailed look at weather coming week. It's quite an interesting week's weather, starting off fairly cool, or even quite cold, with easterly winds. But we will find a change in the wind direction from the middle part of the week, bringing up warmer air, particularly to the south, a little bit of an Indian summer perhaps, at the end of the week for southern parts of the country. Not sure it's going to last all that long, though. By the time you get through the start of November, might be bringing in cold air from the northeast again. So, very changeable period coming up, and throughout it all, really, it does look really very dry, especially for England and Wales. There will be a little bit of rain at times, but still significantly drier than you would expect for the middle of autumn. I'll get on with that in a second. Before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse widgets, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be helping us to pay for our website. Thanks very much for doing that. And just say websites using for the weekend forecast coming from the weatheroutlook.com and WestCentral.d, and you can find a link to both websites on the links page. So this is the latest radar picture from the Weather Outlook, and it's very typical of what they had through much of this month. Actually, been a very easterly dominated month so far. So showers are in the east, so through southeast Scotland, northeast England, running down through Lincolnshire, through the east coast in towards East Anglia and the far southeast of England. Most central western parts of the country got dry weather, but there are a few showers across the eastern parts of Northern Ireland. Here's today's synoptic pressure chart. High pressure remains dominant across Scandinavia. The winds are in from the east, coming off the North Sea. That's bringing those showers into eastern parts of the country. So it will be in the east that we have showers this afternoon. Most of them will be light, but one or two heavier ones are possible, especially close to the east coast. Central west areas getting the best of dry and bright weather on offer today, with good sunny spells coming through. And we've already seen there's a few showers across the Northern Ireland there, drifting in on the easterly wind from off the Irish Sea, of course. Temperatures today ranges around 8 to 12 Celsius, perhaps up to 13 or 14 in the far southeast. It's about average, really, for this time of the year. Overnight tonight, very little change. We might bring a little bit of a featuring towards eastern coastal counties, so perhaps the showers just pepping up later in the night across parts of Lincolnshire and East Anglia. Generally scattered showers down the east coast, most places staying dry with the clearest spells in the west, where it'll turn cold. Temperatures could go as low as freezing in some rural parts of, say, Wales, northwestern England, southwestern Scotland. More typically will be around 3 to 7 degrees, so quite a chilly night. And there is a risk of mist, fog and ground frost in places. Through into Sunday, we get a little bit of a change starting to take place. Low pressures developing off the coast of Portugal, and that will throw up a weather into the far southwest of England. Also, it'll freshen the easterly wind. So it will be a windier day down across the south tomorrow. It's going to make it feel really quite cold indeed in southern parts of the country. We'll still have those showers in the east. I think they'll tend to die away across parts of East Anglia, southeast England through the day, but keep going across southeast Scotland and northeast England. Most places, though, will be dry again on Sunday until late on in the day. We find outbreaks of rain on a weather system coming through the channel into the very far southwestern tip of England, and some of that rain could be quite heavy as well, particularly around the Channel Islands. Temperatures tomorrow again ranging from around 8 to 13 or 14 Celsius, but it will feel colder than today with the easterly wind freshening up. Move through into Monday. We've got a weak weather front moving northwards across England and Wales. So dealing with Scotland and Northern Ireland, first of all, lots of dry weather coming up there. Some mist and fog patches start off with, but good sunny spells by day. For England and Wales, though, it'll be a cloudy day on Monday with outbreaks of mostly light, patchy rain. Might be a few heavier bursts mixed in, perhaps most likely in the south and southeast. Generally, though, that rain does look fairly patchy on Monday. It's going to be a cold day, though, under the grey skies and the light rain. Temperatures might be no better, around 9 or 10 Celsius across much of England and Wales. That's below average for the latter stages of October. Further north, we might see temperature going up to around 13 degrees in the best of the sunny spells. Now, overnight, Monday into Tuesday, we might have a bit of a problem with fog because this weather front, that is across England and Wales during the course of Monday, that'll sort of die a death, I think. And very damp air it will be across England and Wales after all of that light patchy rain. So as the sky is clear with that weather front dying a death, it might produce some dense patches of mist and fog. Always a bit risky forecasting fog in this country now because we don't get a lot of it, and that's mainly due to the fact that we've got much cleaner air than we used to have years ago. Nevertheless, there could be dense patches of mist and fog around on Tuesday morning, particularly focused for England and Wales, so watch out for that. Tuesday itself, we're under this ridge of high pressure, so after maybe a misty, murky start with dense fog in places and perhaps some ground frost, we should find skies brightening with sunny spells coming through. It'll be a little bit milder in the south as well, with temperatures reaching 14 degrees. But across Scotland and Northern Ireland, later on, we'll start to bring in some cloud and outbreaks of rain. That's mostly for the far northwest of Scotland as the southwest wind begins to freshen up. Temperatures there closer to 11 or 12 Celsius. And then into Wednesday, quite clearly the high pressure is repositioning, so it's drifting away from Scandinavia and moving down across the northwest of Europe. So the centre of the high pressure is somewhere across northern France or southern England. That's going to bring a completely different air mass through the country as the wind backs off into the west to southwest. Probably bringing a warm front through the UK as well, so I would expect Wednesday starts off maybe on quite a cloudy note with a little bit of rain up in the north. For Scotland and Northern Ireland, we probably keep cloud and light patchy rain going through much of the day with these southwesterly winds, but for England and Wales, the sky should brighten up with sunny spells developing, and it will feel warmer with temperatures perhaps at around 16 or 17 degrees in the south by Wednesday afternoon. That's below 60s Fahrenheit. This continues into Thursday with high pressure across southern parts of the country, but we're bringing this weather front on these westerly winds in towards Scotland. So Scotland will have cloud and probably mostly light patchy rain through the course of the day. The rest of the country, I think there's a risk of starting with mist and fog patches. They should go to give warm spells of sunshine. Temperatures in the southeast might reach around 18 or 19 Celsius on Thursday afternoon. It's the end of October, so this is Indian summer type conditions really, which is when you get warm weather after the first frost. Temperatures will be lower for Scotland. They're probably just 12 or 13, although it will be a bit milder than we've had it recently. Then into Friday, no real change. The high pressures in the south. We've got a weather front, maybe quite an active front coming into the north. So perhaps outbreaks of more heavier rain, more widespread rain for Scotland on Friday. But the bulk of the country will stay dry. Again, there could be mist and fog patches to begin with. Some of those could be quite dense, but I expect sunny spells to break through. And temperatures at the outside, somewhere like central London, might go up to around 20 degrees on Friday afternoon. That's 68 Fahrenheit. Very warm, really, for the time of year down in the southeast. We go through into next weekend and we keep high pressure dominating, but as we run through the weekend, this high pressure looks like it's drifting north across the country. So I would expect it stays very dry for many places next weekend, and we might find an increasing risk of fog by night, which perhaps lingers into the day in some places. I think temperatures just generally slowly edging down, returning back closer to average. If we was to go beyond that with this latest run of the GFS, actually takes a high pressure to the north of us by the early part of the following week. So this is up to Tuesday, 1st of November, by which time winds going back into the east and northeast again, and much colder air is starting to drift in from Scandinavia. So it could well be that this little burst of warmer conditions for the south later this week might be the last sort of burst of warmth of the year, really, and we may actually go fairly cold as we get into the start of November. That's all very speculative. So in summary, we're going to have a lot of dry weather again through the course of this week. We start off with easterly winds, and temperatures will be on the cool side as well. Outbreaks of rain, mostly light and patchy in nature, on Monday. After that, loads of dry weather away from Scotland, where there will be some rain coming through later in the week. And after a cool start to the week, temperatures will lift up, particularly for the south, where we have a little burst of Indian summer in the second half of the week. Beyond that, might get cold for the start of November. Right, that's all for now. I'll come back for the 3-month look ahead with the JMA tonight. That's going to go from November through to January next year. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.